Hello, everybody. Come on in for a moment with Celeste. I hope you're able to see well today because my little camera looked like it just kind of did a little bling bling thing. So you never know what that's going to be about, right? But we're going to have a fun one today. I've really been looking forward to this since I told you guys yesterday this is what I would do. This mixed media piece, and I have not done one for a little while, so I'm looking forward to doing this with you today. So come on in, say hi, and we're going to just have a little hour of creativity here. So, oh gosh, it's so nice to just be sitting at my craft table again. Hi, Sue Ashwell. How are you, my friend? Thanks for coming by. I'm glad you were able to pop in today and join me. It's going to be, we have all kinds of pretty goodness here that we're going to be working on today. We've got multiple little canvases and we've got all kinds of pretties. And we're going to do a winter theme. It can be a wall hanging. It's about 10 by 10, or it can be a little table setter. So I'm just looking forward to this time because it's so relaxing for me. Hi, Patsy Ray. Hello, hello. Patsy Ray. That sewing little journal book with those cutout ladies. I love those. I cannot wait to see what all you put together. It's going to be really pretty. I actually am going to be working on some things, not today, but I found this book at an antique store in Fremont, Nebraska, which is about 30 miles from Omaha. And it's called A Reflection, A Pictorial History of Fremont, Nebraska from 1870 to 1920. And Fremont is a little town. And I picked this book up and it is just loaded with photos of old that I am going through and starting to do some fussy cutting and different things. But look at this one that I got out of there. Is she not precious? And then look at this little one, a little girl sitting on a chair holding her dolls. And then this one I just thought was so fun. These older people, I don't know if did I get it? Yep. So over here is the lady, and she's kind of got a little look on her face of like, I bet you she's like a daughter, or maybe she's the secretary in an executive's office. What do you think? So anyway, and I'm going to be mounting these and doing some different things that can be used for journal tuck-ins and things with those. But anyway, for today, hello, Lori. Hello, Patsy. And I know her expressions. Back then, Patsy, they all were like, weren't they? They really were. I think it's just because their life was so hard. But, you know, honestly, this one here don't look like life could have been too hard. It looks like they had a pretty nice little setting there. It's probably an attorney. What do you think? So, they look like Tim Holtz cutouts. They do. They do. I know. I got this book and I'm so excited because I've had it for a while sitting down here on the floor waiting for me to find time to cut through it. So I'm thinking that I'll be able to do some of that this weekend while I'm watching football games. Football games and basketball and all that good stuff. It's a close and tight waist. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah, I can't wait to show you more of those. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, my inspiration that I'm going to use for this piece is Winter's Promise. And this is going to go on here. I'm going to mount it on this little canvas right here. That's then going to sit in here on the big canvas. But it says, in winter's hush, when earth lies still, God's faithful work goes on by will. Beneath the frost, new life is sown, for Christ still reigns upon his throne. Though days are cold and nights are long, our hope in him will always remain strong. Spring will rise by God's own hand. Winter rests at his command. And I'm just going to use this as my inspiration. It's such a peaceful little reminder of the blanket of snow at Christmas and how peaceful and beautiful it looks outside when it snows. So the first thing I'm going to start with is I'm going to have a drink of water first. And then we're going to get on it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. This is a textured canvas that I had. And I picked this one because it has like the waves and things that kind of reminded me of drifts of snow. And I'm going to start with the background on this as a metallic silver. So I'll get some of this on here. You never know how much it's going to take, right? Silver and blues and whites and creams are all those beautiful colors of winter. And that's what I'm aiming for here. So you can see it's going to be a metallic background. Have any of you done any mixed media pieces? Like something like this on a canvas or a piece of wood? I really enjoy it. When I first started my page a couple of years ago, I used to do a lot of different things with painting. And then I kind of got away from it with doing the journals and all the things that go with that. But I think I'm going to just go be revisiting some of this again during these next few months as I'm on the days that I'm not doing my journal groups. I will probably do something similar to this, not specific, but anyway, I could have used a bigger brush, right? Was the surface already designed? It was, Patsy. I got this several months ago. I want to say I got this maybe last spring at Michael's, and it's on their Creatology line. That's really in the kids section, and it has, at that time they had a whole bunch of clearance, and they had these, and they were all different textures. And I've used some of the other ones on some of the things I've done previously. But this is already textured for you. And it's kind of a plastic canvas. And I love it. I really have enjoyed it. And you know, so I guess that means I'm a big kid at heart, right? That it works wonderful for things like this. Because it has that texture already put in it, you see? See how it's, you can see it there on the camera? How it's already pulling it out? Now, if you did not have a textured canvas, you most definitely could do this. There's a couple things you can do. You could take your hot glue gun and you can do your design on the canvas with your glue gun and let it dry and then paint over that. You can do it with, you know, some plasters or things like that. You know, go get some plaster from the hardware store even, and you can use that to make your designs. Stencil something on with the plaster to get a design. I love to see it done with a large stencil that has different flower patterns in it, and then to do the plaster over it, let that dry, and then do your painting. I think that turns out really pretty. You can see I'm trying my best not to get my sleeve in here. I've started to do some watercolors in my journal. Have you, Lori? I have not done much of that, and I need to stretch out and do that too. Oh, send me some pictures when you get it going. I'd love to see what you come up with. Love to see. That's one of those areas that I need to grow in, is my watercolor technique and ability. It kind of, honestly, it kind of intimidates me a little bit, because I never feel like when I do it, I never feel like mine turns out like what I see they're supposed to be like, as far as the way that the actual paint is laid. Hi there, Mona. How are you today? Guess what, Mona? I got some sleep last night, but I didn't get very much. Oh, I loved your comment from yesterday. It says, "And are you still going to sleep?" So, but I didn't get much last night, and I wasn't that I was thinking about anything crafty. It was just one of those nights where, you just kind of, and so you know what I do when that happens? I just start praying. I use that time for prayer. When I wake up like that and can't get back to sleep, I'll just lay there in bed and I pray for all my family and my kids, my nieces and my nephews, my brothers, my sisters, my friends, people that I know are going through hard times. And as I'm saying that, I kind of had a thought. My grandmother was a prayer warrior. I am not kidding you. People from all over would call Grandma Nelson to pray for them. And Grandma, when I was a child, sometimes I'd spend the night with them. And it was after my grandpa had died. And I was probably about 9 years old, 8, 9 years, 10 years old. And I would spend the night with Grandma. And I'd always sleep with Grandma. And she would, first of all, go through a whole litany of stories of her childhood that she would tell me about. And oh, did I love those stories. Loved those stories. And now, my grandma, I think I've told you guys this before, but my grandma, my sister and I were the two youngest out of all the grandkids. So there's like about 15, 18 years from the oldest down to the youngest, or to me, then that's younger than my sister. And so, our grandma, we always saw our grandma as being kind of old. My grandma didn't look like grandmas look today. But she would tell us the stories. And I would lay there. And she did this with my sister. Both of us had these memories of that time with her. And then we would take, and when she got through, of course, by that time, I would be ready for bed. I'd be pretty much asleep. Then when I'd wake up in the morning, I would see Grandma. Grandma was laying next to me, of course, on the bed, but Grandma, at some point in the night, had gotten her Bible, and after I had gone to sleep, she had started reading her Bible, and then she had her prayer list laying on her Bible. Now, my grandma, mind you, was somebody that praying was her, if you have a spiritual gift, intercession, praying was my grandma's spiritual gift. And she prayed for people all around the world. I saw her list at different times. And it not only encompassed all of our family, but it encompassed tons of friends and tons of people that were missionaries in different places. And that was just the way my grandma, and that was the influence we had. And so now, as I'm starting to find myself waking up and praying, it's starting to remind me a little bit of my grandma. But I sure hope it don't start being an every night thing where I can't sleep. What will I do? Hello, Linda. How are you today, Linda? Good to have you with me. Okay, so I think that's all we're going to do with that one. I am going to set this over here because I might use this again. So that background is painted. So let me grab here real quick. I'm just going to do a quick little airbrush. Is there anything that you do in your life that reminds you of something that maybe your parents or that your grandparents or grandparent may have been like when you were younger, that you find that you have picked up over the years? You're at your son's, Linda. How nice. I hope you guys have a wonderful time. Are you there for the New Year holiday time? And where does he live? Where does he live? Where does your son live, Linda? Okay, so then we're going to let that sit up here. And while I'm letting that just finish drying, I'll set that over here. I am going to take my little canvas now, and I am going to decoupage this blue paper. You know, Mona, I really should. I really should. They were amazing. And, you know, I'm so blessed. And I know those of you that watch me a lot kind of hear me say the same things before. But I'm so blessed that about a year before my mother passed, my sister-in-law had given her a book that had all kinds of things in there. It was about memories of Mom. And it had little captions, kind of like what we do for journal prompts. But it had things like that, and like, what was your earliest childhood memory? I remember one of them in that book that we get so tickled at was, what was your earliest memory of church? And that was in there. What was your favorite thing to do, to play with as a child? And my mother had such a beautiful way of writing. And she was dying of cancer. And we all knew it. She knew it too. At this point of year, she had gone into remission 4 times. And they said this was probably most likely going to be the end of it. So my sister wanted her to be able to capture some of that for all of us. And you know, bless my mom's heart, there she spent the last 11 months in a nursing home. And my dad sat by her bed. He was there daily from about 9 in the morning till 6 or 7 in the evening, that whole time. But Mom gave that book to my sister-in-law about probably a month before she passed away. And oh my gosh, you can only imagine now what a treasure that is for us. So my sister-in-law went, and after my mom passed, my sister-in-law went and had the book all bound and copies and rebounded for us. And I'm telling you, I just love it to this day when I pull it out. And some of those stories, my mother had such a sense of humor. And you can just hear her telling these stories. And so, you know, that's just a real blessing. So what it's reminding me to do is that I want to do something like that for my kids to have. And for my grandkids to have, my grandchild to have. So I'm thinking I may just go ahead and even start writing and using that as part of my journal time maybe, and getting some things documented that I remember going clear back. You know, so last night while I was laying in bed, but in between my praying time, those are some of the things I was thinking about. And I was just thanking God for the enriched life that He has given me. Wasn't easy. Wasn't always a bed of roses. As a child, you know, there were hard times. But I'm so thankful that He's allowing me to remember so much. I can remember certain things going clear back to when I was 3 years old. And when we lived in Indiana, that were just, I just treasure those. So those are the things that I want to be able to document, so that someday I'm hoping maybe somebody in my family system will read through those and think, oh gosh, look at this fun story, you know, from Grandma. You can talk the stories into recorder and transcribe later. That would be a great idea too. Hi, Tammy. How are you, my sweet friend? Good to see you today. Just sitting here doing some reflection. I think this time of year it kind of does that to us, doesn't it? So, but what are some of the things that you guys, do any of you, I'd love to know. I'd love to know some of the things that have captured you. Maybe it's at this time of year, maybe it's not. Some special memories or some special, you know, like I was asked before, how many of you find yourself doing certain things that different people over the generations in your family had always done? I just think that's so fun. It's like, or sometimes when you say something, it's like, that if that wasn't my mother, nothing was. Right? I plan on doing a memory journal this year. Oh, you will love that. You will love that. And you know what? You know, I did the memory one here this past year of the book of all the different things from my mom and dad's generation backwards, back to them, back to all the old ones. So this year I'm hoping I can get, maybe this will be the next one I work on, will be something on my stories. We'll see how it all pans out, right? Okay, so I'm covering this. I'm going to trim this off because I don't want this big hunka hanging on here. Okay. Now I am going to take this after I get it where I want it to be. I don't have to do anything special on the back of it. So there's that, okay? Now I'm going to take this little Winter's Promise that I read at the beginning. So if you weren't on when I did that, you might want to make sure you do the replay. But this Winter's Promise is going to go here. So I'm going to end up painting covering this whole thing here with some Mod Podge. Because this is my inspiration, okay, this little poem. Do you ever wonder if your kids, when you're gone, will have the memories, like, you know, similar to like what I just shared 60 years later, you know? If you know, if they'll be telling their kids those things. Do you ever wonder that? Just, you know, things have changed so much, but I'm just wondering if things like that will change over time. What are your thoughts on that? Okay, I'm going to get that little crooked. I don't want it to be a little crooked here. Ho, ho, ho. Let's see here. Oh, don't pull it all off on me. We might have to settle with a little crooked. Let's see here. Yeah. Well, shootski. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to pull it this way. There we go. I think it'll be okay. You don't have to be perfect. Pretty blue. Yeah, isn't that pretty? I like this color of blue too. In fact, I'm not happy with this, you guys. I got it crooked, and now it's going to pull off, but we're going to see if we can salvage it. I think we can. I'll just put more on. This will be covered anyway. My living room is in kind of a blues and a gray, light gray, little bit. And then it has a little touch of yellow in my drapery. Okay, let's see here. I think I know what I did. I tore it. I didn't tear it straight, and I thought I did. Let's see. Look very nice in that color. Thank you so much. This is one of my favorite shirts. I actually bought this back in October, and you see here it's got a little thing of let's just say blessed girl, and on the back it says something about I'm fueled by coffee and Jesus. And I bought this around the time that I know we went down to the Crafty Bunch meet and greet. But it is a pretty blue, isn't it? I got this at Walmart, and I really love their Blessed Girl line that they have. Those are kind of fun. Okay. Mona, where is it that you live? What city, state? I'd love to know. Okay, so we're going to let that sit over here and dry. Let's see, Patsy, I think they will have memories. My grandson loves for me to tell him family stories. Yay, wonderful. Our guy, you know, who's 15 now, when he was little, we always put a little mattress next to he had his own little Elmo bed too in our room actually. But then sometimes we would squeeze that up in between the bed and the wall, so he would hold my hand at times before he got to sleep, and he loved for me to tell stories too. It's been a while since we've had that opportunity. You know, we don't do that anymore, obviously. When you're 15, you don't have those kind of sleepovers like I wish. Like we did when he was little. Okay, we'll try to dry this a little bit. Then we're going to get into the fun part. So my palm is going to be wrinkled. I'm okay with that. Did you ask where I live? I was punching my coleslaw and didn't get it. Yes, I did, Mona. Oh gosh, that's funny. Crunching your coleslaw. So where do you live, Mona? Okay, so this one here, we are going to glue this over here in this area. About right here is what I'm anticipating. So I'm going to be done with my glue, my Mod Podge. And then I'm going to put this on here, and I am going to glue this down. But first, I want to see how I want to do this. Louisiana? Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I think I only know one other friend. Our friend Callie, who's on here sometimes, is from Louisiana. Okay, so I want to do this far enough away where I'm going to put my pretty flowers on here. So we will probably do it about right here. I don't want it centered. So let's see if it's going to stick for me if I do it with the hot glue. Come on, you goofy thing. Get in there. Well, I'll do it with this glue. I have that ribbon. Don't you? Isn't that pretty? I have never seen that one before. So I'm always excited when I go there and I see something that I haven't had before to pull into my little organizers. I love it because it's fabric. It's really a fun one. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to go about right here. I want to make sure I get it straight. Okay, then we'll hold it down. Come through on the back side to kind of press it well. Give it a good press, and then we're just going to let it sit here a second. Now I want to make sure I have this straight because... Okay, push it that way a little bit. I didn't get no measuring tape out or anything. Let's get you down where you can see this. Does it ink really nice? Oh, that's good to know, Patsy. Thank you for sharing that. I may have to go buy some more. That will be pretty. Okay. So, hoping we can get that. Maybe if I can get a little bit of a hot glue under there just to hold the seal. Yeah, that'll work. These are 3-in-1 glue. It sure likes to slide around. But I think we'll be good if we sit there. So now I've got all the other little fun things to add onto here. So I love this ribbon. Does this not scream winter? Okay. So what I might do, I'm just going to play here a minute. I'm just going to play and see if we put that ribbon here. And then we put this on the background of it. I think that is going to be really, really pretty. Oh, yes, I do. So let's cut that piece of ribbon. Oh, that's going to be really nice. Okay, so let's make sure here. I'll cut it about right here. I shouldn't be using these scissors either. Let's get the old ones. Or my new ones will be like my old ones pretty soon, right? Okay, let's see. We're going to do that. And turn this off. Okay. Put some glue up here. Okay. And then I want a little bit of that silver edging of the canvas to shine through on the outside edge, so it pulls the silver and the metallic gold together. So there's the first thing we're doing. You probably can't even really see it very well, can you? Okay, then we have, let's see, I have this, again, sparkly, wintry wonder, right? And this here, I think, will look really pretty going across and then intersecting with that. So let's put this up here for right now, just to see how this is going to look. I want to lay it all out first, okay? Then we have, and I might do more of those as well, you just never know. I have all these little flowery things, so I'm thinking that maybe, let's just see what it would look like if we take this, go across the top like this, can you see that? And then bring it down like that. I think that's going to frame it nicely, maybe. Probably go up a little higher. Okay. Then I've got these, remember? These big old pieces. So I'm going to cut these apart here. Let's start with just one. And I'm thinking if I have it going at an angle from this little piece here, and then maybe tuck in some of the pretty blue. Let's see what we can do. Okay. If we tuck this in kind of behind it, let's just stretch them out. Okay, don't have to hide that there. Okay, got some of that. Let's do another piece of the, this one's a pretty piece. It has a lot of the glitter on it. Okay, let me check something out. Maybe underneath, do a little bit of layering. It can't go too far on top of that, so maybe let me think this through. Come up here, bring that down here, have this over this way. Maybe we'll do it this way instead. Okay, let's just try and see. Now when I do these, I always find that it's ugly until it's pretty. It's ugly till it's pretty. But I like to use a whole lot of different mediums. The whole thing kind of looks like cake. Now I want cake. Well, you can have that with your coleslaw. Oh gosh, it does kind of look like a pretty little cake. Okay, then here, these are my favorites. Now, where I'm going to put them, I don't know. I don't know. I have to think this through. I do. Because I just have to feel it all out and see where I'm going to want things. I don't like that on there. I don't like that. So, let's see here. Get my feet off my footstool. And we're going to find out what other things that we have around here that can be pulled in with this. Now, I do have, and I'm going to see if this is what I want to do. Let's try a little bit of this with some greenery and a little bit. Let's just bring the whole jar over here. How about that? So you can see. Keep my big jar with greeneries in it. And let's just see. I don't have room to put it on my table. Oh, me oh my. Okay. Let's just see what we can do here on the smaller rectangle with the palm. To put some of this on there. Okay. We'll see how it comes together. If we do a little bit like on here, I think would be really pretty. I agree with you on that, Mona. Let's see here. I've got this little guy. And this is a different shade of blue. Because that, oh, that's kind of pretty on there too. Let's take this and let's take this and let's take this. The clear blue stuff. Where did I sit? I found it. Okay, the clear blue stuff to put on. Yes, yes. I think that would be pretty because it's going to let me shape it as well. So if we do some of it up in here, and I'm fanning it out. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. Kind of fanning it out a little bit. And let's just, ooh, I like that. I like that a lot right there. Let's see if we can do this. Because it looks like ice, you guys. And it's a little blue ice color. That's really going to be pretty on there if I can get it put together like I'm envisioning here. So let's take now, I'm going to set that here. Again, I'm not gluing it yet because I might want to put like a little piece of doily or something. Then I can take this other one. Here's a couple of, let's see here. This one has a longer piece that might work to go up along the side or the bottom. Okay, let's try this. Hello, MJ's Designs and friends. Welcome in today. Thank you for following and coming in with Moments with Celeste. Intermingle the little blue flowers in the white flowers. Okay, we'll try that one too, Patsy. Yes, we'll definitely try that. So here I have some of this pretty blue icy stuff that is just so pretty. And we can see if we like this here. Because if I don't like it down here, there are many other places to try it, right? Okay. So that might work down here. So you're seeing like intermingle the pretty blue. So if we take the white flowers and I bring it up a little bit, thinking I'm going to do it like that. That'll give it the same border. Okay. And I'll be cutting that so that it fits in better. Okay. Then taking some of this and maybe, I don't know. Let's just see what it's going to do. Exactly where I was imagining. Great, great. Maybe, I don't want to do like every other one, but maybe something like this. Girls. I think this is going to work. I really do. So why don't we get this piece glued down at the bottom? Could balance the blue on the other side of the piece. The bottom, balance the blue. The crystal blue, I've also got some of this pretty stuff here. See, this is, I think not the whole thing, but I think little pieces of this is going to look pretty in this kind of a bouquet thingy that I'm envisioning. But we'll see. The hair, let's try this stuff too. Here's some really fine. That we could maybe stick in here. So we bring this down. And we bring this. I'm going to, before I do any of this, I'm going to get this glued down. That's what I'm going to do first. Okay, so let's take some of the, I'm going to take this over to this. We'll see if we can get some of this to hold down here. I might need to bring in some of my hot glue on this. The thing with this grassy stuff is it's really hard to manage getting it glued. Kind of wants to be there's just so many holes in it. Okay, so we're going to do that, and I'm going to make sure I've got it straight. Up in here, we'll push it down. Over here. Okay. I'm just going to hold it up here to make sure I have it straight on top. So bear with me a moment. Uno momento, my friends. Uno momento. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. I really like this ribbon too, because it really brings in the natural of the ground into it. Like the light tannish brown. And then I'm going to go under the spots of this that have the little bit of a bigger piece of fabric or whatever it's called hooked to it. Okay, got that. Now we've got this glued down already. So now let's go with trying to get this put on. And that one's kind of got a wrinkly spot, so I don't want to do that. Let's put this here. I'm going to put this across here, and then we're going to cut it off, I believe is where I'm going to aim. We'll cut it off about right there and get that put on. I love the way that stuff looks. I do too. It's one of my favorite things to work with. I usually use the green, but I hadn't found the brown until I actually found the brown up in when I was in Minnesota visiting at that place that was the like a ribbon warehouse that just had so much stuff. And so I sure nabbed a roll of that, but I probably should have nabbed more than one. I might have to send my sister back to that place. She lives up there. She won't have a clue where it's at, because I know that I don't even remember for sure, but I think I still got the price tag. Crystal one balancing the larger. Oops, it's all falling on my lap now. What am I going to do about that one? Okay, now I can do that, or I can do this. I'm going to put this down here to start with, and then I'm going to run it down to here. I'm going to use my whole thing on this one. Okay. Oops. Put that right there. Just gotta be careful I don't get those overlapped. Good, 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 good. I really love this, Patsy. I can't wait to dye the colors. Hello, Jen. Happy Tuesday to you, too. We are doing a mixed media piece today. So, welcome in. And then, now, over here and up here. So, we were going to put... I know I probably dropped it all on the floor. I'll be back. No, I didn't drop it on the floor. Let's see where I put... Oh, it's underneath here. Okay. So this pretty fanned one, now I messed it all up, is going to go up here. Right. Probably won't get it the way I had it, but that's... We'll twist it a little bit. Where you are now cannot be a she shed. No, I'm not in a she shed. I call it my she shed because my daughter bought me a light, and I got to get it put back up there. But it's a light that says she shed because she wanted me to have a she shed light. But this is actually my craft room. It's actually the spare bedroom, and we live in an apartment. And when my daughter had moved out a couple of years ago, it only took me about a day to convert her bedroom into my wonderful little studio. And I love it. I spend so much time in here. It's so quiet and peaceful. So, okay, we got that one there. And then I'm going to take this narrow, skinnier one, and we're going to do it down here. Jen, if you're still on here and you have any suggestions as I'm going along, I'd love to hear your input on this. Okay. And for those of you, if you're not following the pages that are on here with me today, I know we've got Straight Jacket Crafting by Jen. You will love her. Jen, I just came up on you probably about 6 weeks ago, and I love your style. I love your cans, your smash cans, and you even inspired me to do a couple little ones that I did at Christmas time. Okay, and I'm going to put this so that it sits so that the big pieces of the jewels are showing and they're not laying on their side. Okay. And then I think I saw, who else was on here with the page? If you're on here with the page, go ahead and put your link in there. Let everybody know where they can find you at. Because I'm not one of those crafters that gets offended when other pages come on and watch me as their pages. Doesn't bother me at all. I feel like we're all in this together. And I end up doing that a lot because I am on my page 90% of my time. And so when I come across something, I don't even remember if I'm on my page or on my personal page. I'll make a comment or something. So never ever want it to be an offensive thing for anybody. But I feel that there's enough people in this world for us to all be exposed to, right? We don't have to be picky and selfish. Don't want to be selfish. Spread the joy. Okay, here's the little paper ones. So Patsy, we're going to go in and put the little paper ones on here. And we're going to put one right here in the middle on this, in between here. Just to bring in a little bit of that blue along the side. And then we're going to take, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gaps. So if I do 4, I do 2 here, I'll do this one about right in here. Okay. And then I think I'm going to cut off one little flower and we'll put it up there at the top. Have it going like right up in here. And then we're going to put that blue flower, we'll put it in there. How's that look? Oh, thank you, Mona. I try to be. Sometimes I have my moments. Sometimes I have my moments. My husband and I were just talking about that today. I apologized to him because I told him I know I had been cranky this past week. And I apologized to him. And I said, I don't like it when I get like that. And he goes, hey, we all do it. We all get like that. But I said, I know, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I have to be really careful. I have to make sure I eat something in the morning, or I have a tendency that I could just, now that's going to set that off a little bit, so I'm not sure I'm going to like that. So now what do you think? Do we need to put the blue flowers just here, or should I run it across there as well? Time to vote. Blue, yes, to run it across, or no, to leave that part like it is. Yay or nay? Yay or nay? Dun 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 dun. Jiggy biggy boogie woogie diggy woogie wong. Okay, I am going to want some laces in here because I'm just kind of a lacy kind of gal. Not lace, but trims. Hi, Janet. Did I say hi to you? Honey, if I didn't, I am so sorry. Hello. Welcome into Moments with Celeste. So Patsy says yes. And let's see here. What What kind of goodness can I find in here? Let's see. And see, we've got some pretties. I just don't know. I might just take a doily. And maybe what I could do is wrap my bouquet in kind of the doily a little bit. So Patsy says, yep, we're going to go across the top. That was your vision, my girl. Okay. So let me see here. Oh, let's see. Can you just lay them down so we can see first, please? Why, sweetenly, I can do that. Mona, I love having you on here. I love all this interaction, guys. I love it when I'm doing something like this to get the ideas flowing. Okay, so that one would go there. And this one would go about right here. So you see what I've done is I've kind of, it doesn't have to be. I think it'll be okay. Yes, I think it will be beautiful like this. I really do. We're going to go for it. I'm going to go for it. Pitiful, pitiful. Do you have a blue chiffon ribbon for doily or doily? Oh, let me check. I'll have to check in my little stash here. Okay, so I'll put it in here. Well, hi, Gwen Martin. How are you? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all the goodness that can be given your way. It's good to see you. Come on. Okay, we got that one. You know, some of the flowers, when you get them in the package, they're a little more smashed than the others. So I like them to be a little bit fuller. Okay, let's see here. It's going to be quite the little piece here, isn't it? Definitely going to be a little winter wonder. I've got more that we need to do. Okay, now we've done that. So we're looking for chiffon blue. Well, let's see what I have in here. Here's part of my blue case. Let's see. I have this pretty piece of lace. This one here isn't going to match. It's going to be too different. This one here is kind of a blue, dark blue gray. And hang on a minute. Got more. Let me run back into my closet here. Hang on, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Don't leave me. I'm still here. Still here. Alright, let's see if there's any blue chiffon. I thought I had some blue chiffon. I thought I did, and then I didn't. Hang on. Okay, I don't have any blue chiffon. But that don't mean at some point I can't go and buy some. Now I have this, and this would be a pretty accent, I think, maybe. Let's see here. So if we take this doily, I'm going to turn it over. Guess it isn't going to matter because it had a little grunging on it. And I try to do some type of a little bouquet. Let's see if we go behind here. And my other one is over here. That might be too big. be too, I won't be able to do it like, wrap it like a bouquet. This is, gets to this point with me at a situation where sometimes I have to just step away from it and come back a few hours later and revisit the beauty again. So like if I take this off, Tussie Mussy. Tussie Mussy for sure. I am a Tussie Mussy. Okay, let's see here. If we put, this has got to go behind. I'm probably going to have to work on this a little bit. Does that match the dark in small canvas? It's not quite. See, this has this blue here on these blue beads right here, and this go really well. And the little piece I have on there, you see that? Can you see how that matches? Really well. But this one's more of the color of the blue flower. See that? Can you see how that's, look at that. That's almost identical. Okay. So that's what I have there. Then I have this gray blue, which was a thinner piece. That's the same type of grayish something. See, look at this. These are all kind of more of the grays. Can you see that? The ribbon. This one here. Patsy. To do down here, like maybe a bow on the bouquet, you thinking? Is that what you're thinking, girlfriend? Let's see, what else do I have in here? Now, I do have a piece. This might be too much, though. Because, believe it or not, sometimes, look at, see, I've got this. This white. I might just do a little piece of this, maybe. And we can stick that in here to just bring a little bit of the snowy white into it a little bit. Whew. It's a real thing. It sure is. Okay, let's see here. So, are you liking the green in there? Here's my favorite greenery of all time. This is my favorite right here. Let me cut just a snip off of it. See, I put them in this jar because it always makes me feel like I'm a florist. I just reach up and snip. Not really. It's not why you do it. Okay, but like this one here. Oh, I love this one in it. I really do. I think this is such a pretty greenery. Wish you guys could see it better. Look at that. See that greenery on there? I like that better than this one up here, but it may be okay to use both. Do you think? You think? Okay, then we could incorporate a little bit of that, but I don't know that I want to. I am liking this. I just have to play with it. So my doily's not big enough for me to wrap it all the way around it. But I might be able to find another doily that would work to make it more like a cone. But honestly, I don't know that I want it like a cone. Let's try something here. Let me show you something here. Let's try it and just see. If we do this little ribbon here, kind of like so, and I could put like a little button or something, that would go down here on it, and then the tail would hang down. I'd have to fix it a little bit so I can make it like I want it. I might do a 3 or 4 thingy. I'm thinking this is the direction I'm going to go with that. What do you think? Isn't that pretty? because then that is pulling in everything that's on here. Wrap doily and tie with the gray ribbon. Okay. Okay. So you think I should wrap a doily around this instead of just having a doily laying underneath of it? Is that what you're saying? Pull it back a little further so you can see the whole thing. Like this. Okay. Okay. That's how we're going to do with this. And I've got more I'll do with it. I might bring in something here a little bit to tone down this bright blue on here a teeny bit. And the way that I can do that, let me show you. I'm going to probably do it here anyway. Let's just try this. I'm going to take a little bitty brush, and I'm going to take this. Remember the silver on the background? I'm going to try a little bit of this, and I'm going to go just around the frayed edge first of the torn paper. I'm going to bring some of that silver, that metallic silver, around that. Just going to dab it up there. Because I do want to pull all the elements together, right? Yeah, that's looking better there with that on there. Okay. Oops, got some glue hairs going on. Did any of you guys see the thing on Facebook? It came through on one of those funniest home video thingies that they show all the time, of the older gal that was under her car changing the oil. Any of you see that one? That was one of the funniest things. I felt for her, but boy, was she a good sport. She was definitely a good sport. That's what I just thought of when I dumped my paint. She had the pan, the bucket with the oil in it to change it, and she was laying down, and she was holding the pan and dumped it all right in her face. Okay. Let's see. You liking this, Mona? Good. And I'm going to sign off here as soon as I get this piece done. And I'm going to work on it, not probably tonight, because my best friend, Norma, she's been my friend for about 25 years, is coming over for dinner, and we're going to have our little Christmas get together, because we have not been able. She has so many friends, Norma does. And Norma's about 10 years older than me. She's got more of a social life of anybody I think I know. And we just, between her schedule and the Christmas schedule and everything, we couldn't get together before Christmas. So I told her the other day, I said, you know what? It worked for her, it didn't work for me. And it's like, you know what? We're going to do it after Christmas. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So John's cooking some pan-fried baked pork steaks with the gravy. Well, hi, Sue. And he's doing some homemade mashed potatoes, and he did fresh green beans with bacon and onion, all that good stuff. John's quite the cook. And then she's going to bring a dessert. And so we're just going to have a good time together. So this is where I'm ending it for today. I'm going to work out, like I said, some more. And I will when I get it all done, I will put a Facebook post about it. And so be watching for that, because there are other things other elements I'm going to add into this that are going to be fun. See, one of the things I love to do too is I love to put in pieces of canvas. And I think this, if I can get the perfect right pieces on this, is going to be beautiful. It's going to tone down some of the silver a little bit, but it's going to be quite the piece. I'm just sure of it. I'm here too, but my phone wouldn't let me comment. Aw, your project's beautiful. Oh, thank you, Sue. I'm glad you made it on before I signed off. I'm so glad. So there's going to be lots of pieces. I'm going to maybe tone this a little bit with some different techniquing with some of my paints. So we'll see how it goes. But thank you for hanging out with me, you guys. It's been wonderful. I hope you all have a happy, merry, wonderful, sweet New Year's. We're not doing really anything, so I'm going to be doing probably lots of crafting, and I'm going to really work some more on getting my craft room organized and watching some different sports things. I think that's all we'll do. Anyway, so thank you. I'm glad you popped in, Mona and Patsy and Sue and Tammy and Janet and whoever else is up there. I can't see. But thanks a bunch, and we'll see y'all later, okay? Friday night, 7 o'clock Central, on the Crafty Bunch page and Hero Moments with Celeste. I'm having it's the first Friday sale event for the Crafty Bunch, and I'm on at 7 o'clock. They'll be on all early evening, afternoon, or early evening, and I think I'm the last one at 7 o'clock Central. So lots of little goodies on there to take a peek at. So this Friday on the Crafty Bunch, and also on Moments with Celeste at 7 Central. Bye-bye, everybody.